Congratulations, chosen one. If you are listening to this message right now, believe me, it's not by chance. There is a greater reason that brought you here, something that goes beyond mere curiosity in clicking a video. It's as if life has prepared this exact moment just for you. Perhaps you don't even see yourself as a chosen one. Perhaps you even doubt it. But the truth is, even without realizing it, you've already faced battles that many would not withstand. You've carried weights that seemed impossible, and yet here you are, standing, listening to this message. That alone says a lot about who you are. I want you to feel right now that this calling is real. I'm not talking about luck or coincidence. I'm talking about purpose. There is something special reserved for those who, even in silence, endured long nights, heavy days, and pains that no one saw. You may even think you don't deserve it or feel that you've lost too much, but don't be mistaken. Being here at this very moment is a sign, and every sign carries a message. Before continuing, leave your like to help this content reach other chosen ones. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing how far this message is reaching and who it's connecting with. I know it hasn't been easy to get here. You've gone through days when your body woke up, but your soul wanted to stay lying down. Days when getting out of bed felt like carrying an invisible backpack, heavy, filled with things no one sees. You smiled to avoid worrying your family, said, "I'm fine," to your friends, while inside your heart felt tight, as if trying to breathe in a windowless room. Perhaps you've known silent pain, the kind that doesn't scream, that slowly eats away inside. The pain of looking at your life and asking, "How did I get here?" The pain of giving everything and receiving almost nothing, of working, struggling, trying to get it right. And yet it seems the world is always 2 steps ahead of you. You know the late nights, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., your phone in hand, your mind chasing solutions that don't appear. The bills on the table, the email that never arrives, the answer that doesn't come, the opportunity that slips through your fingers. You know the feeling of stepping into the shower to wash away. Nothing, of working, struggling, trying to get it right. And yet it seems the world is always 2 steps ahead of you. You know the late nights, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., your phone in hand, your mind chasing solutions that don't appear. The bills on the table, the email that never arrives, the answer that doesn't come, the opportunity that slips through your fingers. You know the feeling of stepping into the shower to wash away, the exhaustion, only to realize that the water doesn't lift the weight off your chest. There's also the pain we don't speak about out of shame. The comparisons, seeing other people's lives move forward while yours seems stuck. You know the emptiness of giving love and care without receiving the same. You know the frustration of fighting for your dreams while the world seems indifferent. You felt invisible at times, even in a crowd. And yet here you are. Still standing, still breathing, still listening. This is your proof you have endured what many would have surrendered to. You are stronger than you know, and everything you've been through has led you to this moment of awakening. So, chosen one, take a deep breath. Feel your heart. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt has been part of your preparation. Your journey is unique, your path is sacred, and your purpose is calling. You are chosen, and this is just the beginning. Smiles on your face, yet wondering why everything seems so much slower for you. The feeling of always being behind, as if you missed an important train and are now running through the station trying to catch something that has already left. The pain of what didn't work out, the project you poured love, time and hope into that still failed, the relationship you nurtured with care that withered anyway, the words you longed to hear that never came, the promises made to you that remained in the air, too light to become reality, too heavy to forget. You've also been strong when no one was watching, strong when you had to swallow your tears in the bathroom at work, Strong when you had to hold someone else's hand, while inside there was no one to hold yours. Strong when you mentally went over the bills in the grocery line, when you thought 1,000 times. Before buying something simple, when you pretended that the pain didn't hurt that much, just to get through another day. Perhaps you questioned your faith, not out of disrespect, but because your heart was tired. You offered a short, awkward prayer, then stayed silent, hoping to feel something, anything that would show you were not alone. And you were frustrated when the heavens didn't respond the way you wanted. This happens to many good people, people like you. I recognize your struggle, even the parts you've hidden from the world. I recognize the weight of trying to be strong all the time. I recognize the exhaustion of being the person who solves problems, who listens, who supports, and is almost never heard. I recognize the knot in your throat when you think about what you've lost and the fear of losing even more. I recognize the daily effort to stay whole in a world that constantly asks for pieces of you. And everything you feel is real. It's not drama, it's not exaggeration, it's not ingratitude. It's human. It's a sign that you care, that you take life seriously, that you want something greater than merely surviving. It's a sign that you have already walked a long path, and even while stumbling, you have not given up. Do you have scars? Yes. But scars are also maps. They show where you've been and what you've had to face. If at any moment you thought you were alone in this battle, breathe. You are not. There is a place for your pain, and it is not forgetting, it is recognition. It is looking at it head on and saying, I know who you are. I know what you've done to me, and I know that I'm still here, because in the end, despite everything you are, and that says far more than, your body may still feel heavy. Your mind may still race too fast. Your heart may still be caught between hope and fear. That's okay. You don't need to demand perfection from yourself. You don't need to blame yourself for feeling what you feel. Your story is not defined by the hardest moment you've lived, nor by the mistake that hurts the most to remember. Your story is also made up of the days you tried again, the I will you repeated when everything seemed to say you can't. Your steps, even the small ones, count. Your pauses count. The way you rose from your last fall counts. The care you give to others, even when you are empty, counts. And the person you have been, despite everything, counts, and counts a lot. But there is something you need to hear right now. That pain that felt endless is not eternal, no matter how. Many times your mind repeated that it would never pass. Life always finds a way to show that nothing lasts forever. Neither suffering nor gray days, nor the weight that seemed glued to your chest as if it were part of you. Think for a moment. Remember past moments when you swore you wouldn't make it. That situation that seemed unbearable. That emptiness that seemed endless. Yet here you are. You survived it all. Somehow, you made it this far, and that is proof that nothing, absolutely nothing, has the power to keep you trapped in a cycle of pain forever. I'm not saying your wounds disappeared like magic. Some scars are still there, that's true. But scars don't hurt anymore. They only tell stories, and your story is about to turn a new chapter. What was once a burden can now become a sign of victory. What was once a reason for tears can now be fuel for strength. What you need to understand is that pain is not a life sentence. It has an expiration date. It screams, it hurts, it drains, but it cannot live inside you forever. Eventually, it must leave, because you are not a home for suffering. You are fertile soil for new beginnings. You may still feel traces, memories that insist on returning. But even these memories gradually lose their power. With each new day that you allow yourself to live, a part of the pain leaves without you even noticing. Sometimes through an unexpected smile, other times through a simple conversation, or even in the silence of a night when sleep finally comes lighter. And when the pain begins to fade, something new is born. A space opens within you. It's like cleaning a dark room and realizing there is a window, that there is light, that it may feel strange now, but one day you will be grateful for what once seemed impossible to endure, because in that very point of deepest darkness, a new version of you was being born. There comes a moment when you realize that what felt like eternal hell actually had an expiration date. The pain that seemed endless begins to show signs that it no longer rules over you. The weight on your shoulders isn't the same anymore, and with every step you take, even without noticing, something inside you begins to transform. This is the point where the game changes. It's not like in a movie where everything shifts suddenly with a dramatic scene. In real life, the turning point is subtle. It begins when you choose to stand up, even without strength. When you decide to try once more, even carrying the marks of the past. When, in the middle of chaos, you take a deep breath and say to yourself, "I will not give up now." This turning point doesn't happen outside, it happens within. It's a silent click, a key that turns without a sound, yet opens doors you once believed would remain locked forever. It's when you realize you no longer need to fight the pain, because it has lost the power to control your days. The turning point is the moment you begin to see what you couldn't see before. Small victories start to matter more than defeats. You begin to cherish that quiet cup of coffee, that unexpected hug, that genuine smile. You understand that happiness isn't the absence of problems, but the courage to keep going despite them. And do you know what's even more powerful? When this turning point occurs, even the past changes its meaning. What was once remembered as a burden now becomes part of your growth. You look back and realize, that was my end, but it was also the beginning of my rebirth. It's like waking from a nightmare and noticing that, despite all the fear, you are still here, alive, whole, ready to continue. What was once only darkness now shows slivers of light. And it's in this light that you begin to walk. Because the turning point isn't just the end of pain, it's the beginning of a new life. You need to know something very important. This entire journey you've faced, all those sleepless nights, all those falls and restarts, none of it was by chance. There is a clear promise for you. And it's not just vague, hope or pretty words, it is real. The promise is that your pain can transform into freedom. Yes, exactly that. What once seemed like an unbearable weight can become the fuel to soar. It's about suffering, yes, but it's also about using what you've lived as a foundation to never imprison yourself again. The promise is that you will learn to trade chains for wings. You will learn that you no longer need to carry guilt that isn't yours, expectations that suffocate you, or memories that insist on holding you in the past. You will understand that you can look back without losing yourself, because your future is far greater than any mistake or wound left behind on the road. And most importantly, this freedom isn't just external. It doesn't depend on the world around you. It begins within you. It is the freedom to wake up without feeling that life is a burden. It is the freedom to look at yourself in the mirror and finally see someone worth it, someone who deserves to be here. It is the freedom to no longer blame yourself for having suffered, for having fallen, for having trusted the wrong people. This is the promise. You will learn to transform suffering into strength, wounds into wisdom, loss into direction. You will discover that everything that tried to break you was in fact teaching you to become unbreakable. And this promise isn't for 10 years from now, nor for when everything is perfect. It begins now. The simple fact that you are here, listening to these words, already shows that you are on the path. You are already moving toward a place where pain no longer rules and where you have the chance to write a new story. The promise is clear. You will not just survive, you will truly live. Now that you know there is a clear promise for your life, I want to extend an invitation. But this isn't just any invitation. It isn't one of those you accept out of politeness without much thought. This is different. It is a call to walk with me on a journey that can change not only the way you see the world, but also the way you see yourself. I am not here to offer easy shortcuts or ready-made phrases that vanish after a few minutes. What I want is to hold your hand through these words and show you that a path is possible, even